Today I'll be talking about how our perceptions of others affects how we communicate with them. There's no doubt that we care about how other people see us. A great example of this is social media. Social media is all about trying to show other people that we're the best versions of ourselves. Social media is also very prevalent in today's society. According to a 2019 Pew Research poll, 75% of people ages 18 to 24 use Instagram. Perception also goes beyond the internet and affects interpersonal communication. Understanding perception and its effects on communication is important because it will make you a more effective communicator. How we perceive and judge others affects how we communicate with them. I often find myself judging others or being judged myself, and if I understand perception, its effects on communication, I will become a better communicator and be more comfortable when communicating with others. Over the course of this project, I have also researched many studies and stats that prove that there is a correlation between the two. Over the course of this speech, I will first discuss how perceptions are developed, then the importance of understanding others' perceptions, and finally how differing perceptions can be bad for relationships. In order to look at perceptions' effects on communication, we have to understand what perceptions are and how they are developed. So what does perception mean? According to DeVito's Interpersonal Messages, perception is the process by which you become aware of objects, events, and especially people through your senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. Perceptions are developed through a series of 5 stages: stimulation, organization, interpretation/evaluation, memory, and recall. The first step, stimulation, is where your senses are stimulated by your surroundings. The second step, organization, is where information is organized into different categories. The third step, interpretation, is where you judge information you have perceived. The fourth step, memory, is where perceptions go into your memory. The fifth step, recall, is where you assess information at a later date. There are also other theories of how perceptions are created. One example is the personality theory. Personality theory is where you make assumptions based on a personality trait of a person. For example, if they're good looking, you might assume that they're a nicer person. The halo effect is also assuming a person has lots of good qualities just because they have one. Now that we know how perceptions are formed, we can apply it to how perceptions affect us. It is important to understand other people's perceptions to understand their point of view. According to a 2019 case study, patients were more open with their doctors and disclosed more information when they perceived their doctors as empathetic. Another 2018 case study showed that when a partner is jealous, the other partner is less likely to practice relationship maintenance behaviors. This means that they are less likely to practice behaviors that would help to build the relationship. Both of these show how understanding people's perceptions would make you a better communicator and shows how their perception of you affects how they communicate with you. As shown with the jealousy example, some perceptions can have negative effects. Differing perceptions is another way that perceptions can negatively affect a relationship. Differing perceptions is exactly what it means. Two people have different perceptions of the same thing. An example of this is how we define words and how words can have different connotations. For example, K versus OK when texting or typing. Some people may think that K is okay to use, versus other people may find that it's somewhat rude to shorten the word. Stereotypes are another way that differing opinions can have negative effects. Stereotypes cause inaccurate perceptions that can affect the way we communicate with people. Differing perceptions are just one way perceptions can affect communication. In conclusion, perceptions are formed in 5 stages and through various processes. Understanding other people's perceptions affects how we communicate with them, and And differing perceptions can also affect how we communicate with people. How we perceive others is important because communication is important, and how we perceive others affects communication. It's very obvious that we care about perceptions in today's society, and understanding the correlation between perceptions and communication will help us to be better communicators in the future.